Oak Island's secret for 228 years has endured in myths and speculations. Each year, people dig and hold out hope. However, the truth has never come to light. However, something is different this time. The secret chamber that no one ever thought existed has been discovered by the crew. According to reports, that this room is situated far below the surface. Unusual sounds, breezes, and vibrations coming from inside have scared everyone. According to some, it's more than just treasure, but something that has permanently afflicted this place. According to historians, this might be the location of the true Oak Island treasure. However, some claim that if the truth were revealed, the government refused to make the public aware of it. The query is, what is there in this room that has been concealed from the public for 228 years? You can get a glimpse of that enigmatic chamber by watching this video. Ultimately, is this merely a gold and silver treasure trove or a secret that will forever alter the course of history? Make sure to watch the entire video and leave a comment with your ideas. Additionally, remember to sign up for the channel and click the bell symbol to get notified as soon as there's a new update on this mystery of Oak Island. The enigmatic Oak Island tale started when Daniel McInnes, a little child, was investigating this tiny island. He was only aimlessly searching for expedition after spotting an odd hole in the ground. This location appeared distinct from the surrounding area, as though it had been purposefully excavated and then hidden. This sparked his interest. After calling two of his friends, they started their investigation, believing that maybe there could be riches there. Digging further, they found layers of wood every several feet. The arrangement of these layers was extremely methodical, demonstrating that this was not normal. At the time, this was a noteworthy accomplishment because such layers couldn't be found in a typical location. The companion became more excited, as they grew increasingly certain that they were approaching a significant puzzle. In the meantime, they came upon an enigmatic stone with odd writing and marks on it. Nobody knew what language it was in at the time, but this only deepened the mystery. Digging a few more feet revealed an odd occurrence. Happened all of a sudden. The pit started to fill with water as they got to the bottom, and in a matter of minutes, the whole of the pit was completely full. When Daniel and his pals realized this, they were frightened and fled away. This was not a deluge that happened naturally. Instead, it appeared that the water had been taken from another location. At this point, individuals were aware that this location was specifically planned to keep anyone who excavated it from going any farther. Following that day, the tale of there was more to Oak Island than a pit. It turned to become one of the biggest mysteries in the world. People started to question why and by whom this trap had been set so carefully. The location was more than simply a typical island. It was a conundrum that took 128 years to resolve. As Rick and Marty Laginina's group continues to attempt to resolve the mystery, the recollection of that first finding and the enigmatic hole filled with water is still vivid in people's thoughts. Because of this, Oak Island gained the moniker Cursed Island, and it is now both a fantasy and a source of anxiety for global treasure seekers. In addition to the mystery, Oak Island's well-known curse is another factor that has added to the island's eerie and enigmatic atmosphere. It's stated that Oak Island's real wealth won't be discovered until 7 people have found. Generation after generation has been told this tale, and it has sparked interest and anxiety in everyone who has heard it. Due to this curse, the hunt for there has always been danger on Oak Island. People think that this curse was placed in order to safeguard the treasure, making it difficult for anyone to obtain. Based on historical accounts and historical documents, 6 people have lost their lives in this enigmatic hunt. These deaths happened at various times. However, there were always odd and enigmatic reasons for them. Some perished in incidents involving heavy machinery, while others drowned in the pit's unexpected inundation. Occasionally, the people vanished when the weather abruptly deteriorated. This fueled people's conviction that Oak Island is cursed. When a group of people gets to there will undoubtedly be a significant mishap around this prize. Because of this curse, there's constantly a sense of dread and superstition. Oak Island. Numerous people think that this location is not just a treasure hunt, but also a sanctuary for ethereal beings and enigmatic powers. According to village elders, odd noises come from the island occasionally at night, and shadows can be seen in the shadows. While digging, several search teams even claim to have felt as though someone was observing them. All of this contributes to the severity of this curse and increases people's terror. Additionally, Rick and Marty Laginina's group has been profoundly impacted by this curse. At first, they thought this curse was a folktale. However, when the search developed, mishaps started to happen. Occasionally, the machines would abruptly malfunction. A team member would occasionally sustain an injury. Once throughout excavation, many individuals barely made it out before the ground abruptly collapsed. The team begins to question whether the curse is real as a result of the incidents. Rick is adamant about whether the curse is real or superstition. His group isn't going to give up. However, Marty frequently fears that the Hun might put his team's life at jeopardy. Oak Island's curse appears to be as powerful as it was just centuries ago. And the issue still stands. Who will be the final to pass away? And if the wealth will eventually be unveiled? Numerous ideas have been proposed about the Oak Island's enigma. Some of these notions are now so widely accepted that these stories are sought for by treasure hunters worldwide. The most well-known theory relates to the Knights of Templar. In the 1300s, it is thought that after being invaded and driven out of Europe, the Templar Knights fled to a distant location to safeguard their treasure. According to some, this wealth eventually made its way to Oak Island. To assist according to this idea, artifacts with ancient Templar crosses and emblems have been discovered. If accurate, this indicates that this treasure is more than simply gold and silver. It can also contain a wealth of historical and religious secrets. Pirates are the subject of another theory. Many infamous people from hundreds of years ago, this region was home to pirates, the most well-known of whom was Captain Kidd. It is claimed that Captain Kidd concealed his looted wealth and gold in the deep caverns of Oak Island. Numerous historical papers and maps make reference to this. The pirates had a habit of concealing valuables in locations that were very challenging to access, making it impossible for anyone to quickly retrieve them. This notion is supported by the island's intricate network of tunnels and water-filled holes. The third main theory is pertaining to the American Civil War. According to certain historians, a number of significant, and it was necessary to protect confidential documents. Additionally, it's plausible that these records were concealed by leaders in a secure location, and Oak Island turned out to be the ideal setting at that moment. In the event that this is accurate, Oak Island is not just a gold mine, but it might also hold knowledge that could alter the course of American history. Ancient civilizations and aliens are the subject of the fourth and most enigmatic theory. According to some scientists, the intricate depth and structure of Oak Island could not have been created by a regular person. Technology. It is so sophisticated that it would have been challenging for those of that moment to construct it. According to this notion, either aliens or civilization were involved. Strange evidence supports this idea. Mysterious and enigmatic relics that have not yet produced any scientific justification. This theory adds to the enigma, whether it is real or just a theory, from Oak Island. In addition to all of these hypotheses, fresh hints and findings have been made public on the show on a regular basis. Rick and Marty's squad last season took a number of significant actions. The excavation of the garden shaft was the most important of these. The garden shaft is an old, enigmatic shaft that had already been investigated multiple times. But this time, the group employed contemporary technology, which allowed them to discover a number of odd hints at depth. They found some throughout the excavation, constructions composed of wood and stone that were obviously man-made. This demonstrates that someone used to work a lot at this website. Along with the garden shaft, the group discovered some unexpected evidence at the address DN 11.5. Here, they found pieces of metal with peculiar carvings. Despite their unusualness, these carvings seem to have been made with a certain goal in mind. Additionally, odd trends were noticed in the water flow, adding credence to the idea that there may be additional tunnels or hidden rooms underneath. The baby blob was another noteworthy incident from the previous season. This is a little but important spot on the map of Oak Island. When the group dug up this location, they found several oddwood fragments and artifacts. The order and form of these pieces indicated they could be a component of an old building. Additionally, the metal pieces discovered here provided the scientists with assurance that they were now headed in the correct way. In light of all these findings, Rick and Marty's group were confident that the true secret was now very near. Previously, they had just used their intuition to guide their search. They had hard proof now. The odd metal pieces from DN 11.5 and the buildings in the garden shaft and the relics discovered from the newborn blob all suggested something enormous, and beneath Oak Island lies something historic. The group's zeal, and they were more eager than ever to solve this mystery in its entirety. Now, the query was, does this riches come from an old civilization, pirates, or Templar Knights? Or was it a reality that had always been concealed from humanity? The findings from the previous season persuaded the team and spectators that the next action could alter the course of history. Rick and Marty's group were committed to solving Oak Island's secret, despite the risks the group had during their search for Oak Island. They often came across odd signals. However, what transpired this time was unexpected. It all began when the team used advanced equipment to investigate a new area close to Garden Shaft. Everything appeared normal at first, but all of a sudden, something strange showed up on the sonar scan. On the screen, an odd shape that didn't look natural appeared. Instead of being a circle or having perfectly straight edges, it appeared like if it had been purposefully made. When Rick saw the screen, he instantly contacted the other members of the team. They scanned together multiple times, and each time, the same form showed up. This made me both excited and afraid. The group, as it was obvious that something important was hiding underneath. They used a metal detector right after the sonar scan. First, the detector produced typical noises, but when it got closer to that specific location, the beeping abruptly increased in volume. Metal didn't usually react like this. Instead, it appeared as though there was a metal object or building there. Marty said right away that this location wasn't deserted, and there was something important concealed here. Rick and the other team members were thrilled, but they also questioned who constructed it and why, given that it was an ancient framework. Moreover, another odd occurrence that raised even more concerns the group. The values abruptly changed when they took a deep reading of the air pressure. Altered. It appeared as though air were trapped in a confined chamber. As the device got closer to the location, the pressure abruptly decreased. This indicated that there was a hollow area underneath and there was a strange flow to the air. This information was important for the team because Oak Island has been the site of numerous tunnel and water trap discoveries previously, but this one showed a different sign. Observing all these odd indications, the group was certain that a significant finding was imminent. Rick's expression was obviously brimming with enthusiasm, but Marty was rather concerned. Marty thought that if this chamber needed to be handled carefully, since it was indeed as significant as it appeared. A few squad members were also anxious, because they were always thinking about the curse of Oak Island. However, everyone finally came to the conclusion that they needed to learn the real story behind this site. The team's long-awaited moment had arrived. The camera was connected to a long, strong cable and lowered it gradually. Everybody's gaze was focused on the observe. Ancient stone walls emerged on you as the camera lowered more. Screen. These walls lacked a natural appearance. Instead, they appeared to have been thoughtfully constructed. Additionally, they had strange symbols carved on them, the meaning which nobody was able to figure out. A few of the symbols looked like ancient Templar symbols. Others, however, were unknown at all. As the lens dipped farther, the group's excitement increased. Everyone was taken aback by a scene that flashed on the TV. The light from the camera fell on a big golden box. The box featured elaborate carvings and was fully sealed. Surface. It didn't appear to be a typical chest. Based on its brightness, it was obvious that it was something extremely valuable and old. Rick held his breath. This can't be just treasure, she remarked quietly, gazing at the monitor. Something very big. Marty's eyes were excited and worried at the same time. He realized that this history could be altered by a discovery, but he also believed that the team's lives could be in jeopardy. If something hazardous was discovered, risk. The camera was positioned nearer the box, but as it got to the top end, the video feed abruptly stopped and the screen flickered. This astounded the whole team. Nobody was able to determine if there was a technical issue or something different. However, everyone was asking the identical question at that precise moment. What was something within this golden, sealed box that we had not yet seen? At that point, the Oak Island's mystery grew. The group was aware that this finding might be the most significant one they have ever made. Rick relaxed everyone down, stating that they needed to open this room very slowly and patiently, cautiously. It contained the solution to Oak's problem and wasn't merely a matter of finding treasure. The enigma of Island, 228 years old. A mixture of apprehension, enthusiasm, and every team member had a look of curiosity on their faces. That was the time. That demonstrated that the real game had started and elevated the hunt for Oak Island to a new level. After observing when the Oak Island team saw the golden box on camera, they understood that this finding was not typical one. Rick and Marty determined that the location required a comprehensive scientific research. The very following day, a unique group of archaeologists was put together. geologists, as well as specialists in contemporary technology. These scientists were especially skilled at looking into historical and enigmatic locations like these. Immediately after arriving, the team assembled their advanced machinery and started a thorough examination of the chamber's environment. Rick and his group eagerly anticipated what would happen. Be found below. Initially, the researchers gathered soil and wood fragments from all around the room and put them through carbon dating. This examination is employed to ascertain an object's age. It took several hours for the results to be available, but everyone was in disbelief when they came. It was evident from the examinations that this location has buildings that were at least 800 years old. This implied that whatever wasn't just a few hundred-year-old treasure that was concealed on Oak Island, it might have been far older and of historical importance. Rick added, if this information is accurate, then we're not something that will alter history, not merely a prize. The scientists then started looking through the golden box. They examined the box's contents using specialized equipment, surface, and the environment around it. All of a sudden, odd signals were detected by their instruments. The device displayed increased quantities of radiation. This radiation was not your typical kind. Instead, it appeared as if there was an odd energy coming from inside the box. The researchers grew frightened. They alerted Rick and Marty right away. Approaching this box, it could be risky without protection. What's inside is unknown to us, but it's not just any metal. The team became less enthusiastic because it wasn't not only about their life, but also about treasure. Marty and Rick were perplexed. Rick felt that it was crucial to tell the world the truth about Oak Island. Hence, they ought to open the box. However, Marty thought it should be handled safely first. Additionally, the scientific group emphasized that the box should remain undisturbed until a comprehensive inquiry is finished. The atmosphere became really strained. Everyone was aware that they were up against the finest finding ever made. However, that also brought an unidentified risk. While the investigation was going on, something else unexpected happened. The following day, at Oak Island, federal trucks appeared out of nowhere. A few of the men had uniforms on, and their expressions were grave. They went up to Rick and Marty's group and declared that the location would now be governed by the government. Rick inquired, confused about the government's intentions behind this finding. But the solution seemed obvious. It's a national issue, safety. Government representatives started the process of closing off the entire region. They put up caution notices everywhere and told the team to leave. All cameras were switched off and recording was forbidden. Both Rick and Marty were furious about this. Rick yelled, "The truth should be known by all. It's not only our right, it's the right of the entire world to know what lies here." However, the authorities remained strict. They clarified that if the legal action would be taken against the team for breaking the rules. This unexpected, the crew was thrown into a loop by government intervention. They were unable to comprehend why the government was eager to seize control of the location. Perhaps the authorities already knew what Marty suspected was kept secret on Oak Island and didn't want the public to know. Rick thought it was a plot to hide the past. The other members of the team were also perplexed. A few were alarmed and discreetly departed the location, while others made the decision to back Rick on social media. Word quickly circulated that Oak Island had been cordoned off by the government. People started to wonder what had been found and was being kept secret. Use of hashtags such as #OKIsland on Reddit and Twitter. The terms mystery and #hidden chamber started to trend. This case had evolved into a signe. Attempted to hide all material. Was security the only motivation for this move? Or was the true secret something the government didn't want the world to know? Everyone is wondering this, and the solution most likely resides in your ideas. Comment below with your thoughts on the entire situation and what that's your theory. Your thoughts and feedback will not only motivate us, but will also be seen by anyone interested in unraveling this enigma worldwide. Thus, remember to watch the video and become a subscriber. To be the first to, click the bell symbol. Get all of the latest information about Oak Island. This narrative will not be restricted to only one video. In the future, there will be more startling discoveries that you will want to attend. It's time for a dramatic finish to wrap up this episode. The echo of Rick's voice says that the mystery surrounding Oak Island has really just begun. This sentence increases the enthusiasm and strikes a chord with the audience. In light of this, there is a teaser for the upcoming video. A shadowy, enigmatic tunnel emerges on screen, reverberating with the sound of water trickling. Abruptly, the camera, a glowing figure, may be seen in the depths of the tunnel as it pans within. A voice within next time will show you footage of the secret tunnel, the background states, where history may be about to change. This moment warms the hearts of the viewers. Race. If such a significant secret were concealed in the secret tunnel, everyone is compelled to speculate as to what might be concealed there. Room. In addition to making the video unforgettable, a cliffhanger like this leaves viewers excitedly anticipating the next episode. Following this conclusion, there is an absolute sense of suspense. Social media conversations intensify, and the hashtag Oak Island mystery begins. Trending once more, people share films, conjecture, and develop various theories about Oak Island's underbelly. It's evolved into more than just a narrative, but a worldwide enigma, with everyone keen to share their thoughts. At the end of the video, there's one last appeal. Please tell your friends about this tale if you thought it was interesting. Relatives and friends, we work to make sure that people are aware of Oak Island, the entire world. This mystery's real strength is found in the backing of our viewers, and we can only proceed with your assistance. Keep checking back because we'll be revealing secrets that can alter things in future episodes. Not just Oak Island, but the eternal path of history. This brings the episode, but the suspense and mystery are still there. It appears that the truth regarding Oak Island closer than before, and the future world will undoubtedly be shocked by the discovery.